Top of the morning, lads, and welcome to another podcast of the Megacolony Trap House. Today, I got a couple of special guests, one returning and one new one. Honestly, it's kind of weird because I never thought I'll be actually like hosting like a Vanguards of the Roundtable thing on a technicality, but
It's true. It's kind of true. Also, are you Irish? Do you honestly get the right to say top in the morning to you?
no,
Also, are they working
That
in the morning?
that
no.
opening literally just surprised me because that's not your normal one.
Right. You're like, hey, your homeboy,
I'm sorry,
Giraffa coming after
you
you.
sounded more ghetto before. I'll just straight up say it. You sounded more ghetto, which was actually
Okay.
kind of funny.
All right. So, should we introduce ourselves? 'Cause I feel like we're overtaking this podcast already,
All right,
and we
yeah.
can do that later.
Introduction time. So first up, we have the madam that we have not seen in a long time, but is still active. She goes by.
Silverstone Dragon Tamer Luquier, Silverstone Dragon Cream Reverse Luquier, Silverstone Venus Luquier, Silverstone Mystique Luquier, and then we go back to Venus for some reason and normal Luquier after that. That's a lot of Luquiers. We have 6.
All the Luquiers.
All the Luquiers are awesome. Let's be honest. But yes, I am the page admin to the Luquier page, the one who run the crazy circus of the Vanguard Roundtable. And I have been active. I posted a video the other day, me being the crap out of our second guest of the Chaos Variety.
And next up, we have the troll, who's been trolling the whole season 4 and season 5 of Vanguard G, also taking over the beautiful Noah. We also have.
It's a trap, get over it.
So, yo, what's up, everyone? I'm the admin of the Chaos Breaker page. Hope you all have a sweet day, and yeah, everything, yeah.
All right. So I called everybody today for this one topic that I feel like we should all get out right now because I don't understand why everybody can't get through this concept.
That traps are gay?
No, not that one. They're not gay.
No. What you mean is liking traps are gay. But
No.
It's
Liking
gay.
traps is
On-
not
onto
gay.
But onto the right point, onto the main point.
Right, back to the thing.
All right. Why the hell do players not read cards?
Oh, shit.
Oh, that.
Okay.
Oh, we're going this route. Oh,
We're going
Okay,
this
okay.
route. We're wrestling Jimmy
you know
today.
this is gonna cause rants, right? Heads up, this is a rant warning for this whole podcast because there is going to be seriously ranting on
Yes, it
everybody's
is.
side. This a heads up to everybody. If you want to rant,
you got
this
your
is-
wish.
you got your then you come to the right place. So, okay, to begin with. People who don't read their skill are fucking idiots. They do not understand that you have to read in order to understand skill. How hard is it to take at least about less than 2 minutes to read a skill and understand it?
Well, okay. Here's one thing I want to.
And I am
point-
going to cuss throughout this whole podcast
So-
if we get to that point.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to know is what
Okay.
brought up this question.
All right.
Because this is random. Well, not random because I've seen this question a lot. Because I had to respond to this question before, but I want to know what brought this up from you.
Okay, so for a few months, which I did actually finally kind of sort of recorded it, even though it didn't come out the way I wanted to. But anyway, I wanted to do a video, a just simple video about basically trying to make everybody read cards because I don't understand why it's so hard for everybody to just read the damn skill. I mean, basic reading comprehension should be the main focus on any card game. I'm getting sick and tired of, trying to battle people and, basically they make excuses on why they lost. And one of the main excuses is, I didn't know this card did this. And it's all like, all you have to do is simply read the card.
Because Harding is red.
Alright,
Basically.
besides Yoda here doing what he does best. It's because automatically, it's not that they don't read the card. I believe people do read. The thing is, they glance read it, as into speed read in a sense. They look at the skill and get
skim.
the basic. Yeah, they skim, so they get the basic concept of the skill, but they don't fully grasp it. And a lot of people do this, and it does show when they do card fight. That's why I am told to know your opponent card skills as well, and you do have a chance to read their skills. Because if they get it wrong and you don't catch them, that is on you. But if you do catch them, then you can call judge and be a badass.
That's actually
Basically.
pretty true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the way I see it is, so the Luquier admin makes a good point about how people just skim read it, and they just think, oh, this is how the effect works, and then suddenly no, it doesn't. Like, that's one. People skim read. Two, what doesn't help is that, yes, I am going to call this out. The latter generation, the recent, the not our generation, but like the recent generation of kids, they don't like to put too much effort into things, and so they, they're just doing it on a kind of on the fly, if you get what I mean.
You mean they just do it and just like
Act like they know things and then get it wrong, or oh, well, I didn't get told this, or oh, I didn't know that was how it was supposed to work, or like they don't. There's many different ways to see it, because I don't know, this generation of kids who play Vanguard are just absolutely horrible. Like I've seen kids who are, I'm going to call them kids because majority of it is always kids that whine and bitch about this. It always comes down to, oh, I don't understand. I didn't know that was how it was done, or oh, I misread it, or no one ever corrected me, and they're lazy. They don't actually put the time and effort to understand their whole deck, and so they bitch and whine when they lose. And like, just recently, I'll even pull off something from my locals. There was this kid was playing Royal Paladins, and the standard format Royal Paladins, so King of Knight Soul Saver. He has the whole deck, mind you. It's majority about the same as mine. Now, the whole play with the deck is, if you have certain resources and you're missing certain things, you should be trying your best to get to them, like at the very beginning. So like, say your opening hand opens up a Marin, a random grade 1, a grade 2, another grade 2, and something else, and you have yet to draw your grade 3. Now, looking at how your resources are, you should be trying to focus on drawing into that grade 3 as soon as you can. So you're supposed to spam that Marin as much as you could to draw. Mind you, it's once per turn, but you're supposed to spam and draw so that you get to that grade 3. The more you draw, the easier it is to get to it. I mean, sometimes you have that bad luck, but it goes to that. Well, this kid didn't do it, and he was very close to not being able to write to grade 3. And he wanted it. What was the thing was, like, he was asking for like a little bit of advice, but I'm kind of looking at, it's like, how he talked to me before. He said that he quit Legion format. So he played ever since the beginning, I guess a bit from the beginning up to Legion format, quit, didn't play G Series, and then came back to Standard. So I was like, okay, so you should have the prior knowledge of how to play the damn deck, in a sense. But he still doesn't understand how to maintain advantage gaining, or go a certain route so that you get to what you want. And he wanted me to tell him. And I'm like, no, you need to learn this yourself. I'm not just gonna hand everything to you on a silver platter, if you get what I mean. So the kid doesn't read of his shit, and expects a handout, which everyone does that shit now. No, it's bad, and the reading part makes it even worse. It's like, do you not read your damn cards either? It's like, you should know your cards, what your cards do. Oh, a call. Oh, what was it? Man, there was what was it? Missing the timing. Missing the timing as in you skipped the timing of your card and expect to be able to go back. If that makes any sense. Because they didn't realize they So like say call a unit, skill is on standby, but the guy plays a different card and expects to be able to go back to it. Again, reading. Again, the reading thing. It's like, no, your card has the auto ability. It activates the moment you play it. The moment you play anything else, that card is done. You missed your timing to play it, to use the effect. You can't just go back to it. But people don't read. They're like, oh, I can do all this and then do all it. And it's like, there's a step. There's steps. It's just like how people don't read the damn rule book either.
Rule book.
Apparently, only like a small 1% fraction of people read the rule book. Because, apparently.
Oh no, no. It kind of get upsetted too because sometimes those players who think they know the skills tend to act high and mighty because of that.
Yeah.
And okay, so that also like give you like reasoning to be like, okay, fuck you, I'm going to like destroy the hell out of you, and you can't complain if I win because you don't know the crap out of your skill. That's why when a couple times that happened, I'm not positive on the stories because it happened a couple of times.
Oh, I'm sure they're all true at this point.
That's probably that's how bad it is. They blend in with one another.
Yeah, one thing leads to another. One thing leads to another. It's always like, this because of this, because of this. So, yeah.
So have you guys...
Go.
Oh, okay. So have you guys ever came up to like a situation where like somebody kind of like assumed an effect even though like it wasn't there? And like a prime example is like I remember like around the time Merciless Dark Phase came out, and this actually still happens from time to time too. I would tell people usually what the effect is, and sometimes they'll even read it. And Merciless Dark Phase, all he really does is prevent you from targeting your own unit and preventing you from intercepting. A lot of people still think that it stuns the unit as well.
So, I think it's the association, because your Darkface himself is a stun effect. So Merciless Darkface, they're expecting the idea that while it does do the no targeting kind of thing, they kind of have that innate thinking. It's like, because original Darkface does the stun, that means the new Darkface does the stun too.
Right. They kind of like they assuming the skill, like you said, and because of that, they get mad easily. That they're like, well, you cheating. He's like, no, I doing the skill correctly, but that skill doesn't work like that. And they read it and they're like, well, that is too unfair. And you're just like, how the unfair? It's okay skill, not like crazy good or anything, but it's a skill, and you allowing this to hit.
Yep.
Exactly. And then like, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I actually just like let them act like the unit is stunned.
I mean, that's their own fault.
Yeah, that's their own fault though.
You have no obligation in a high tournament standpoint. You have no obligation to tell them what can stand, if they ask you what can't stand, you actually have to tell them. Honestly tell them what is stunned. But if they don't ask you, you have no obligation to tell them. It's a douche move, but in a sense, you did the effect. They should be paying attention. It's their fault.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another thing I
Uh,
would. Oh, wait. Go
go,
on.
go.
Oh, okay. Like, okay, really quickly. Like another thing I usually come by is like using, um, not Optyrannus, using no, even Optyrannus sometimes, but using overwhelm, and usually I would get the question of does she have the crit because they think that like automatically she'll get the crit. When I'm all like, nah, it's basically if you have one or less unit standing.
Well, the thing about how, so what they usually do with specific cards is they associate it with a specific thing. So, like if you hear, okay, it card associations of certain things. So it's like me saying, if I say Ziegenberg, what's the first thing that comes up to your mind?
The
I bet.
restanding.
Double strike,
And
restand.
well,
Yeah.
no, and free if you have Blaze.
Well, yeah, but I mean the first obvious thing.
Well, the restand, yeah.
Restand. First
Yeah.
obvious thing is the restand. If I say purge, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Fucking
drive
Tiny
check.
Overlord.
The free
Really?
damage. The free
the-
damage in the drive checks.
The free damage and the
They
drive.
make fucking overlords.
So drive check. Okay. Now if I say Ultima, what's the first association thing you can think of?
Dust is better.
Everybody gets whatever trigger the Vanguard gets.
Angel Feather's best friend.
Oh yeah, that too.
Hey, well, the dust is better thing is just like, oh, okay. Okay.
My fault.
Now, if I say deluge,
I hate you.
okay, honestly speaking, if you see
Honestly speaking, I lose my hand because you get to be like, well, you know that counterblast you've been saving? Yeah? Well, get one card in your hand and put it face down. But I got nothing to countercharge it. I don't care. But I got nothing to counter. I don't care. Well, that's not my fault. Well, you're still going to have to do it. You motherfucking Chaos Breaker. You didn't need that fucking skill to begin with. You already did that it. This is the adding salt to the wound. I have no counterblast units. Countercharge unit.
But-
this is killing my skills.
But I mean, like in association without the hating to me.
There
If you
is
hear-
hating to there.
So even if I'm not there, and if someone does,
There is you left. Sorry. They're like mental.
a mental
They're like-
Mental
They're
scarring.
like
mental.
yeah, they're mental scarring. I
Okay.
can't never not look at it.
Okay.
Because you did stuff.
Okay.
You decided to be like, block. Oh, that card in your hand. Oh,
decided
put
to
it
be that
face
guy.
down to your damage.
I'm
Oh,
decided to
oh,
be
the
that
card.
guy.
Oh, what do you lock? Why do you get to see? Because of public knowledge. Fuck you. It should not be public knowledge. You are getting enough out of this. You don't need more.
Okay.
I think the low key best thing about like going against somebody using deluge, it just gives me another reason to put up the middle finger.
Yep. That's what it is. At this point,
But
it is
but
like,
it's okay. So but it's the association game. Like how people do it, they lazily understand what a card does and associate it to it. So when they hear overwhelm, they're thinking draw card crit.
That's true.
That's all they really like get out of it. It's the same idea as how people play Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like, oh, what does Pot of Greed do? Draw 2 cards. Oh, what does Dark Hole do? Blow up the entire field. Regeki, blow up your entire opponent's field. They don't care about like the specifics or anything. They just like, what's the generalized idea behind the card? They don't like fully read it. Just like how Ziegenberg has that, like what the admin of the Luquier page just said, that blaze ability is important. That's the only way you can actually restand, but no one really like pays attention to that. They're just like, oh, you'll probably be able to do the entire effect anyways. All I have to care about is the restand. Like that's how they usually do it. Like if you put the Venus Luquier Stride into the play and say, oh, what's the first thing you think about when Venus Luquier Stride comes on the board?
I want to hear
You
this
guys-
now.
What do you think, Giraffa?
I think I can't. You know that like a paragraph.
I
right
know
there.
you, yeah, because you play the deck. In my mind, I already thought crit or crit and call. Crit and call.
Yeah, that's basically how I see it.
Yeah. So
It to me though, it's more like call counterblasting. I hate you, Deluge, because I don't have that counterblast.
But
anyway,
like it's in a generalized
yeah.
term.
Well,
Yeah. Without
it's
looking
a
at the cost. Without looking at the cost, generalized.
Yeah, well, the cost is still put two into the soul to get that thing, so
Yeah.
people don't automatically know. But here you go. You see, those what you said, like Deluge and all those cards, I'm gonna have to say that you picked well-known cards for that.
I mean, as an example.
I get to say it.
I know.
No,
They were just examples.
no. Your example is null and void.
Dang.
It's because you choose all one cards you knew. Two cards that are pretty much well known in staples and all those type of deck at one point or another. And three, it is how people are sometimes. They do assume skill because they think like the skills would make it. But
makes it good. Yeah.
Makes it good.
Yeah, but I mean, like, generalized term is how people see it, is what I mean, as an example.
Well, yeah, but that's how it is sometimes. People assume, so if they're going to be assuming your card skill, and when you do it, and they like, well, wait, I don't get it, and you like to tell them the card skill. That's all you have to say. You don't have to tell them what it does. You just say, read the card. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, although you have to still be honest if they ask you a legitimate question.
Of course. Who's going to be that type of person?
Oh, there's a few people I can think of.
Well, then
not in our group, but you know what I mean.
This is why then you do it, because this is why you know your skills and stuff. Because then this crap doesn't happen. I'm sorry, but if you get mad that because a person did cheat on you and you did not know the skill, you have every right to tell them, "I get to look at your card. You need to tell me the truth." That is public knowledge. And people better start using it because it's not going to be to a point where, oh, well, they should have told me. They don't have to. They do have to tell you the truth. But for the card skill, they don't have to tell you.
We have no obligation to, like, hold your hand.
Right. That's why when people ask me, like, funny enough, during regionals last summer, you want to know how many people asked me what did each one of my cards do? Like it would like everybody asked me like, oh, what did Marichika do? Read the card. What does Clemens do? Read the card. And you know what happened? You want to know what happened? They let it hit. I just like, okay, well, attack. Well, I was gonna have to let it hit. Okay, and then I do the skill, and then that's like they do give me a look like, what the heck? I'm like, you read the skill. I gave you the card. If you didn't think, okay, reading the skill one thing, knowing how it can be played is another. Because
they technically had the opportunity to ask you technically how it works. Right. Even if they read the skill, like, they can ask you, can you provide an example of how this works? They can ask you that, and you actually can. It's more being polite to actually, like, tell them, okay, if this hits this, I can call whatever yada yada yada, without actually going into it. You know, it's like, oh, Marichika hits, I pay cost, call something from Soul. That's it. So, like, it like, you can generalize the idea if they choose to, but because they didn't do it, it's their own fault.
Well, like, okay, you can know the skill. I'll be honest. Like, I can be like, attack, and to be like, can't read it. So if they read it, they get like a general idea. However, after that, up to the person to just think about, like, okay, well, how are they going to be playing it? Because I'm betting a lot of people can just read a card, but they don't know how somebody would play it. And even if you understand the skill fully, they're not gonna get it all at once.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, okay, well, attack with Marichika. You be like, well, this on hit, call out something, so not gonna be that bad. All right. Marichika attack, counterblast 1, call Zoma skill, put a Rising Dragon in, call it back out. Lion will gain additional 6k because 2 things will call out from soul. And they're like, what the heck? And I'd be like, that's how it works.
Yeah.
That's what they get mad at, I believe. And not much of them not knowing the card skill, it's them not knowing what you plan.
There's more to the generalized idea. Yeah. There's more to the generalized idea.
Which is true.
Yeah, which a lot of people don't realize that that's actually a thing where that's how most decks work, is that, yes, it has a generic effect, but it progresses gameplay for what you're playing for your deck.
Right.
It's not just a singular thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So that one thing, and that's why I think people who don't read the card skills should at least read them. I mean, you're not going to understand what your opponent's going to do, and that's why I think people get lazy with it, because they're like, well, I don't play that clan, so I should not even think what it does.
That's one thing. The other thing is that if it's a clan that they don't often see at all, they kind of disregard it.
And this is why you lose, people.
Yeah, it's the stigma that people have, like, oh, if it's a rogue clan, no one gives 2 fucks.
Once again, this is why you people lose.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Oh, I mean, no, it is true. If you throw something out of the blue against someone, they will get caught off guard and they will proceed to go in a downward spiral of losing because they don't understand what the heck is going on. It's the same idea as back in the day when I was running Kagro, and this was when Shadows was popular with PBD and everything. And when I bellogged their Karen, they were like, "Wait, what?" Like that's the thing. Like no one knew how that worked, and so they get a little bit salty because of that.
Makes sense.
Yes, the element of surprise.
Yeah, the element of surprise throws people off, and so usually that's why, as a player, if you're playing in a competitive scene, you should not be thrown off by like the smallest little thing. You should be expecting every tiny little thing, no matter what, no matter how mediocre the card is. You should have at least some prior knowledge to it, even if you don't play it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
So
it's frustrating though because
because
we playing correctly, I think.
Yeah, no,
and
we play it in the right process.
When you play in the right process, you're like, okay, I get it. And then when you see somebody not, it's just like, how the heck do you made it this far without doing it properly? And then, funny enough, because we've seen in actual World Finals, people not reading cards.
We've seen it in World Finals. I've seen it in many YouTube videos, and it gets frustrating. Like, I know my stuff. I mean, I'll probably misplay once or twice, but it's not even like the misplay from the card. It's misplay of not fully playing the optimal play. That's the type of misplay I'll ever do. I know what the card does. I just don't optimally play the right, the combo. So that's what screws me over. But whenever I go and see like someone play, like prime example, one of the cards I mentioned, Ziegenberg, it really pisses me off whenever I see someone who acts like they know their stuff and proceeds to misplay how to use Ziegenberg on video, mind you, on freaking video.
Oh!
She knows what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah. I like texting my nephew because he asked me what a G Guardian is, and you think that I like, yeah, and then I'm like, oh, it hit me all of a sudden. I'm like, yeah, okay, now I remember.
Yeah, no, there's been videos about that. There's also the idea of how people just let things hit for no apparent reason.
Well, that happened with me too.
Well, no, like, what you do for letting things hit is not how this specific video let things hit.
Okay, yeah. Oh, you can tell he have a certain. Okay, Chaos Breaker have like, I don't know what I would call it, but they're like syncretism, I guess.
No, it wasn't really much of a stigma. More of like, I really hate the idea that I have to correct people, and
It's
it
like
sticks. It sticks. Like, if I ever see it, I will always refer it to an example because.
And this is the reason why you go into the profession that you say you're going into.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Because,
okay, they're making sure. Don't need to ask. They're making sure.
Yeah.
Okay, with that being said, then, yeah, I mean, you have to be smart what to let hit and what not to let hit. If I were to, like, this, what's up with this, like, basic on-hit ability? Like, hey, I'm attacking you with Clemens and a Marichka and a Luquier boosted by Anna. Then you have to, like, think which one will cost, which one would be.
Yeah, there's some things you have to let hit, but you don't have to let everything hit.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
No, and the stuff you do let hit, if you did taking it, did to take it, did to quote unquote show off a skill, what did that actually serve? I mean, yeah, it's a warning. You could be like, hey, don't ever let this hit because of this skill. But if you're doing it on a video and you have to play it like you would normally, would you allow me to would you allow a Marichka to hit?
God, no, if I don't have to.
Would you allow a Clemens to hit?
God, no!
Would you allow a Luquier, doesn't matter which form of Luquier, boosted with an Anna hit?
Unless if I have to.
Unless if I have to, it mainly comes down to what you have. If I know that I can stop
Aha, hit a critical, motherfuckers. There we go.
If I can stop it, I'll stop it. But
right.
if I know I can just take it and not worry too much, I'll just take it. Because, I mean, Vanguard hitting, sometimes you just have to let the Vanguard hit.
Right.
Based on your resources, yada, yada, yada. But if you don't have to let it hit, you can block it, yada, 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 just do it. If you know you can block it.
Yeah.
Right. So. I mean, if you know you can guard certain things, then guard it. But if you have to take a hit because you're lacking hand, that makes sense. Everybody do. I have done it. And yeah, sometimes your opponent could pull three triggers out of their butts, but hey, you can do it too.
Yeah.
It's plain fair.
Yeah, it's all fair. It's just I don't know. I just don't like if you're trying to show off a card, you don't actually have to show it off in a video forcefully. You just let it ease it in. You let it ease it in. You can't expect to just.
I mean, if you're good at people think you are, then you can do it easily. Yeah. Without them doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I'm going to basically do this skill, and if you can't guard it, you can't guard it. You just have to. Again, sometimes you have to take the punches just in order to win the battle.
Yeah, exactly.
Small things make big right. And you just, again, that how it is that you sometimes do have to read skills. This will be getting a general idea. You don't have to be like, well, I didn't know anything. Have at least a basic idea of where your opponent might be going.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, so there shouldn't really be any excuses for people to complain, in all honesty. There's so many ways for you as a player to, be prepared. There's different things you can do. Just use what you have. But people are lazy, so no one really takes the time and effort. Just like how no one takes the time and effort to read the rulebook and understand timings. You know, there's rules on timings, and I think there was one where it was like the timing of attack versus battle, and like I had to actually go to the rulebook and pull it out, and it's like there's a difference between attack and battle, like the actual attack and the actual battle declaration, like there, or battle itself. You know, like you're entering the battle phase, so it's a phase. You're declaring an attack or a battle, like the actual battle going. So it's like, okay, so the attack step is you declaring attack, and yada yada yada, goes through all these processes, and then it's like, okay, once the attack is declared, battle happens. And the battle is between, essentially, is there any guardians? No, there's no guardians. So then you look at the numbers, yada yada yada, go to the close step, blah blah blah. Not many people understood this because they just have the general term of, oh, boost attack, do this, or boost attack, declare target, do this, yada yada yada. Oh, okay, let it die or whatever. No one really understood it until someone who knows the rulebook understands the little itty bitty things. Which, if you're a judge, you have to know this stuff in a generalized idea. Like, you don't have to know it. I mean, if you're the head judge, you have to know it dot for dot for dot. So I have to give props to the head judge on that, to having to like the itty bitty stuff, because I personally can't remember every single thing. Like, I know the generalized rule to it, but yeah.
But I mean, we even see this in tournaments, and you know, you did a good job when you were judging and whatnot. But there's a lot of judges who didn't even know like half of the rulings of this stuff sometimes.
Well,
Right.
yeah. So the thing about it is there's a certain amount of judges, and some of them aren't actual judges. They're there to kind of oversee the whole thing, and if there is a needed judge, then, you know, they ask. But yeah, no, I do agree. There are some judges who don't understand everything to it, and it happens. Not many. I mean, you can't expect everyone to have a good memory if you think about it.
Which is
Well, no, you don't expect them to have a good memory, but there are some judges who say, "Oh, well, your opponent do get the last shuffle."
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
do you remember that? So that's just basic knowledge. So you expect them to think that you're really going to give them credit if they do that?
Oh no. I mean, at that point, I should have
Like,
questioned
your
it a lot
opponent
more
should
to
get
it.
the last. Yeah. Your opponent should get the last shuffle. But again, that goes to like if you feel like the judge is wrong with the skills, you do have a chance to call head judge.
Yeah. You can appeal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the whole point of the appeal process.
Yeah.
no.
Which surprisingly not many people do. The appealing. I mean, there are
Well,
some, but not a
There
lot.
are some, and they go more closer to people who are close to the end, because that when you start getting people who will be looking into your judging.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now I remember like there was one ruling that I kind of sort of let slide because I will understand not every judge knowing, and this happened like during one of the more recent tournaments.
Okay.
And honestly, it never dawned on me until like it actually happened at the tournament. So whenever like they call time and you know you're on turns and whatnot, if you're on turns and you know the person is so happening to be on heritage, do the heritage turn counts as 2 turns or just counts as the same 1 turn?
Same one turn.
Yeah, the same
Yeah.
1 turn. So you know, I was kind of understanding. I was like, that's a little bit understandable that the judges didn't know too much of that ruling at that particular time.
No, they should have known. It's been
It's been
set.
confirmed.
It's been confirmed both by official JP and English for rulings. It's been confirmed, and so the judges should know. Like, I never got asked that question, but if it ever did come up, it's there. Like, it's on the rule book. If it's not on the rule book, it's been like asked at least, like on a Q&A.
Yeah.
So either people just don't read the Q&A that Bushiroad tends to pop out, or just, you know, people are just oblivious. Just happens. So
Well,
sometimes like that stuff just happens sometimes.
Well, seeing that a lot of people still don't know the ruling to Imperial Daughter at this particular moment, I can basically say they don't read the Q&A.
You mean Promise Daughter?
Wait, which one's the grade 2, Promise or Imperial?
Promise.
Promise Daughter, yeah, that one.
Yeah. Promise Daughter. Oh, you're talking about that one post of whether it gets retired through Destiny or not.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Just because it's the same idea as C-Stamp Otter.
It's like it specifically says it cannot be retired.
Yeah. It's just people are trying to find like alternatives.
Loophole.
Yeah, loopholes, because Destiny can bypass resist because of the loophole.
Yeah.
But if the card specifically says can't be retired, then no amount of effect to move a card will get rid of it.
It can still get locked though.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
can still get locked. But that's
yeah,
like,
you can lock it and then kill it. 'cause
How
it's
you
still-
be unguardable OTT? Use Chaos Breaker.
Yep. Or use Anj. Actually, Anj can beat it. Weirdly.
Oh yeah, it can.
Mhm.
Yeah, because Anj can do. Yeah, no matter the trigger amount, Anj can beat it.
I think Rush Gears can do it too. You just do Rush Heritage.
Yes, you have to just turbo it, literally.
Yeah. That's basically just rushing at that point.
Yeah. So there's still different tactics that you can use, but again, it comes down to like, you know, how you do it as how you take advantage of it as a player. So
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I've gotten used to the idea that at this point in time, people just generalizes your cards. So when you actually pull off a specific certain skills, they don't know it, and you just tell them, yeah, that's how this card works, you know. And if they're caught off guard because of it, it's their own fault for getting caught off guard for something that they should have read. You know?
True. And also, again, you can't trust your opponent. I mean, they may seem like a good person, but again, it goes down back to you. Again, have everything being spelled out to you. You need to do your own research.
Yeah, read the cards. Don't always believe your opponent, because sometimes they don't even read the card, and so they have a generalized idea of how your card works, or how a card works. And if you point it out that, hey, that's not how it works, you catch them on the misplay. You know, that's how it works. I've seen people that do it. You know, that uses a card, generalizes the effect, and hella misplays, because that's not how the effect actually works in the first place. I think it was man, I can't think of the card right now, because it was brought up at one point in time, and I just can't. It won't like appear in my head. So, but I know that it's happened before. So, yeah.
So, another thing that kind of brings up to my point, and it was kind of interesting that like nobody's ever brought this up when y'all was talking about like on hit skills. It's all like, have y'all ever done that thing where you basically told them the effect, but you never told them that it happens when it's an on hit sometimes? Like basically you'll attack with a card and they'll just let it go through, and then you activate the on hit skill.
Oh, that's their own fault. I don't have the obligation to tell them unless they ask.
Right. Now whenever if I ask for a skill, I quickly ask, does it have an on hit?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Does it have an on hit? Because I look like, I'm, again, assuming with my deck that they have that too.
Yeah.
So it's a possibility. So you got a chance to ask, is it on hit? Again, it goes down to you need to ask. You have to be responsible how you play and stuff. You can't expect other people to do for you.
Yeah, they can't hold your hand. It's a freaking region, or it's a tournament. So
No matter what type.
yeah.
And if you're not used to it, go to your locals and get used to it. Do some...
Yeah. Play casual matches. I mean, at least the casual matches, you know, casual matches, you can take back place. So then, you know, you learn from it at least.
Mhm.
But in an actual tourney, don't expect people to actually let you take things back. Because,
Nope, you don't know
Tourney.
at that point.
yeah, at that point, you're under the obligation of you better ask questions. You know, if you want to know if it has on hit, ask. If you know, and even if like if they tell you to read the card, you can still ask them. Can you like give a better like idea? Because some people. The thing about it is like you can't expect them to read it and then for them to understand it. So if you have the ability to ask them, hey, can you show me an example of how this effect works? You actually have to show it.
Right.
Not the full example, but like a generalized term. So
Right.
Another thing that I'll probably hate worse than people not knowing how to read the card is people who like not knowing how to read the card and they using the exact same clan in the same deck as the other person.
That has happened.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yes!
That has happened. And the funny thing is, like, it does that. And you're like, yeah. Like, and they go and read their own card in their own hand. They're like, oh crap, it does. And you're just like, no, you don't feel bad or anything. You just feel that you get that moment like, I'm above you. I know this. You get that moment and be like, I'm better than you.
You
Moment.
get the self satisfaction that you know your deck way more than your opponent does. No, oh god, that's the funny.
That's the fun part. No, that's the best part because you get that again superiority. You're like, I taught somebody something about the same clan. I feel like I did a good job today.
Yeah,
And
it is funny on that
it's
part.
fun, yeah.
What's it like? Oh no, like that's one thing I liked it. That's one thing what was it? What's even funnier is I guess one, yeah. So this happened to me in the recent shop tourney or local tourney, and I was playing Royals against this guy's I think Nova Grappler. This guy's Nova
Okay.
Grappler deck, and I knew his number. I knew all his rearguard numbers. I was like, what was it? There was like a Burst Razor on the Excel Circle. There was a it was like a 12. It was a 12K attacker, I think, with a 8K boost of some sort. And then there was like a singular rear guard, and then you got the Vanguard. Well, this guy would declare an attack and say 17 at the Van, even though my personal knowledge, I know how much it hit. He said 17, and I'm like, 17, right? So I just guarded with a 5K, knowing that it was a 20K attack.
Oh my god, that
What's
happened
going
to
on?
me yesterday. Hey, it's Ezel Senpai.
Yeah, hi.
We doing a thing.
We're doing the thing. What's the thing we're doing?
We're
question-
doing a podcast for Giraffa here.
Oh, all right, cool. Well,
And the ID
dynamic entry.
Yep. And the topic is people not reading their skills.
Or misinterpreting a lot of other weird crap.
Yeah. Okay. See, you know this better than I do, right?
He's probably experienced it.
No. He knows this better than I do because he plays one person. who does it
One
constantly.
person in particular, and I could
Okay.
I could speak volumes of people who don't know how to read their cards and saying their effects. I am like a god of that information.
Preach, man, preach.
Okay. With that being said, let me turn over the mic to Ezel Senpai.
Okay, so the question is, what are some experiences we've had with people who don't read their
Yeah.
cards?
Yeah. Basic
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Okay, which one should I use? Let's see. Am I limited by time? Because this is my first time appearing on
We
here.
already did our rants, so you're free to go.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's see. I really have to think of it. So come back to me. I'll think about it, but come back to me.
All right. So,
Anyway.
I need to consult somebody about this.
Oh God.
oh God. All right. So, like I said before he popped in, I've experienced that yesterday. Somebody was playing premium roles against my new Batama, and he had the columns to actually win the game, but he misinterpreted the column because originally the column was like 40k something, but he decided that it was gonna, he instead said, "Oh, I'm gonna just sack for 17," and I was like, "That column's higher," but I didn't say anything. I just guarded with the thing, and like after, like right before he was doing his next attack, he was like, "Oh wait, the attack was a lot hard." No, after I guarded the second attack, he was like, "Oh wait, the attack is higher." I was like, "I'm not guarding for that."
No. At that point in time,
It's
already
already
they-
too late. It's already too
Right.
late.
that way when some people overguards, you're just like, all
It's
right,
even better. It's even better if they
right.
overguard.
They're like, you can ask, like, hey, what's the number? And then you do the math. Again, basic reading and basic math is how you play Vanguard. That's all you need, people.
Yeah. Well,
You don't need
Basic-
a caller to
basic-
read. You just
basic-
need the basic.
basic reading
Stuff.
and math, the basic. You need to know how to interpret reading at least,
Right.
not just read. Like you can read, but you can totally not know what.
You
the
need
hell
the critical
it is.
thinking, yo.
There you go.
Yeah, right. So this is elementary stuff, and that's why people could play this game easily.
I would say
But-
middle school. I would say give them middle school because you need a little bit of the interpretation for middle school.
And you can teach them at a younger age, and they can get it fast. Don't
Yeah.
deny card players at such a
Hey,
young
if you
age.
if you do it early on, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, again, it's basic stuff. Just read and calculate, and do the things.
Okay, I got one.
All right. Wow,
Let's
that took
do
a
this.
while.
Okay, there can be a bunch of them, but I think one in particular actually pertains to standard format.
All right.
Oh,
So, and this is when the trial decks come out. This is before the booster comes out. So my former friend, and I do say former now, it's
Oh,
for
wow.
sure.
oh.
That's another story for another time on somebody else's channel. Mine. Anyways, link in the description below. More work for you.
Yay.
Anyways, so I get my as soon as I come back from my trip from Texas, I get my trial decks in, and this guy is like, "Hey, why don't you come over?" Or my best friend was like, "Hey, I'm over here. You want to come along? I'm playtesting a few decks with this guy." Sure, no problem. I'll be over there in a little bit. So I get down there, whatever. He sends me a picture. He just went up against the leaders for the first time, and oh, the look of despair. Oh, so good. So I go up there and I'm like, "Hey, do you want to play standard?" "Sure, let's play some standard." So, we get going, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to ride an Alfred early, give the gift to my Vanguard, do that." Next turn, I ride again, get the imaginary gift, stack it on my Vanguard. He's like, "Wait, what?" "Yeah, they're stackable."
They say in the rulebook.
Oh wait, no, sorry. This wasn't when the trial came out. This was when we got the demo decks. Sorry.
It still say it in the rulebook.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't get much of a rule. Yeah, we did.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Yeah,
we're playing with the demo
same.
decks. We're playing with the demo decks, and because the markers don't say anything aside from whatever is on the circle gains plus 10k. So it's just like, I think you're cheating. No, they're stackable. Read the thing. And so I rewrote again. I applied it to an empty rearguard circle. It's like, "You can't put that there." I'm like, "Yes, I can." Because it applies to circle, not to the unit, the circle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Circle. I mean, I'll admit that, he's not the kind of guy who would read the rule book after assumingly knowing how to play the game. So it's just one of those things where it's just like, hey, if you had actually read the little book that came with the demo deck, you'd know.
Right, it said it's
You would know.
stackable and it's circle. No, I mean, on the
Sword
field
Patrol.
permanently.
Exactly. It's just like, God.
Okay, I'm going.
Wait. Time out. Before you continue, imaginary gifts is like the easiest thing to understand. They're not that hard.
It comes down to if the person read it.
Yeah, if they had read like the little booklet or a little like did you know rule book that came with the demo deck from Team League that tells you what force is, then yeah, no problem.
I
But
mean,
if
it
you were
even
just like,
says it on the gift marker
Again,
itself.
you can lead a horse to water if you don't go.
can't make it read.
That's true.
You can give
You
it book.
lead a horse to water, but you can't
Actually-
make it read or do basic math.
So the thing about it is that the demo deck markers don't actually tell you. It's actually the trial deck ones that tell you.
Yeah, but in the booklet
Oh,
it
it
does
is,
tell you.
huh?
Oh yeah. The booklet tells you, but if assuming
That's what I'm
you
saying.
didn't read it,
Because if
yeah.
you had read the booklet,
It would have said it right there.
I swear this guy was the epitome of that one Fairly Odd Parents episode. You're like, ain't nobody read the darn manual. Reading's for yellow bellies.
No, it says it
I'm
on, it
Doug
says it on
Dimmadome.
here.
No, not the demo deck. Not the demo deck force marker.
But the little
No, the demo
So
deck
when we
force
got
marker
the-
says it.
no, when we got the demo deck, there was the playmat, there was a little how-to guide, and then the demo deck itself.
It
You
says
need to hide-
imaginary gift force. The unit on this circle during your turn gains 10,000. In the trial deck one says you may put it on the same circle. The power stacks 2. So
Oh, that part. Okay.
yeah. That there's a difference on the 2. Yeah.
And you know, I'm the kind of person who looks ahead to research because I think we all were in the period of that 1 month when the set came out, when the trial decks came out. It's like, hey, research everything, possible loopholes.
Right.
Let's do
Everything.
What does this say?
research.
How do I analyze this? How do I retain this information?
We must do research.
We do the research, we do the reading,
Cool.
do the math, so our opponents have heckin' concerns.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
stackable. Read.
Yep.
Messiah, damn it. Read.
What happened after that?
Well, it was just like, he all throughout this game, he was like, okay, I'm going to believe you, but I think you're cheating. And all throughout the game, it's just like, okay, I know what I'm doing is correct. You're an idiot for thinking I'm cheating. I think I lost the game because of trigger stacking, but I'm just like, you know, it's okay. You got me on a trigger stack. That's what the game does come down to sometimes. Especially back in the old days where a 2 to pass meant 2 to pass, and then not realizing the basic numbers. Oh, wait a minute.
A 2 to pass is a 1 to pass now, or
Exactly.
yeah.
So, I mean, I'll admit that that's my fault for not doing the math correctly, but at least knowing the intricate rule with gift markers, it's just like, yeah, no, I know my shiz.
But that's like a simple mistake because like we're not really used to triggers being 10K yet.
Yeah, there's a simple mistake that, you know, that's the mindset that has to be changed when it comes to all of
Right.
us going to standard or premium standard.
I mean,
But
it's
not knowing how force triggers work or force markers work, that's a big difference. Oh, I forgot those are stronger versus, oh, I didn't know how this very important and new game mechanic works.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Big difference. I actually joked about that in my deck profile. It was post commentary. So like what I did was because a lot of people wanted the Ezel deck. I'm sorry if I'm taking things off topic.
Oh, no, it's okay.
But people wanted like the current Ezel deck, and it's just like, wait, don't you guys want to see the deck list I used to win clan leader for golds? No, you want the current Ezel?
Yep.
But this one's actually, you know,
No.
relevant.
No.
I felt like Jerry at the end in season 3 of Rick and Morty with the werewolf or with
Oh,
the
yeah.
wolf. But it's just like, okay, so through the editing, I had a little Ezel near the bottom of the screen, and I do like post commentary comments
Oh, okay.
just in text. And it's just like, oh, hey, there's another little Ezel character talking. I get to the point where I'm talking about my triggers, and I cannot remember my trigger line for the life of me, even though I have them in my hand. As I'm laying out my trigger lineup, I'm like, I'm running 9 crits, and then I'm playing 3 stand, and I'm like, oh. And so in edit, I just put there, it's like, and I thought reading was hard. Apparently I can't.
Memories is a thing.
It's like, I have the deck right here. Why didn't I bother reshooting that? Because I wanted to get it done. I filmed it twice.
Well, you don't really misread too much unless it's like the new episode of Vanguard recently.
No, Ty lost. Ty lost his hand. He also lost faith in the writers that named the episodes.
Damn.
Okay, I guess he did lose something there.
Anyway. Yeah, reading is hard. People read your card skill because people are going to call you out for it. And if you don't want to get embarrassed, you read it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but at this point, if you can't do simple reading or simple math and you graduated high school or graduated college, just give me your degree. You'll need it.
You know what's interesting is, like, at my locals, we actually have someone who's in high school, like a 14-year-old. I'm just like, wait a minute. You're the youngest person here playing Vanguard. Wait. Existential dread sinking in. Wait a minute. Oh no. Where are we going? There's the abyss. Oh no.
Wait from there.
And how they think about Vanguard, it's just like, that's interesting. Like, next time I go down to the locals, I'm not sure if I'll be able to go this weekend. I might be getting hypnotized. That's gonna be fun. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But if I do go, if I see him, I'll be like, hey, what got you into Vanguard to begin with? You're 14. The show's been out for technically 7 years.
Give or take.
Or the game at least has been out for 7 years in Japan.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, so half of your life, Vanguard's existed. How? How did you get into Vanguard? That's what I would love to know.
You look at a card, get interested.
Well, let me rephrase that. What I want to know is, how did they first hear about Vanguard? How did they discover Vanguard?
Again, look at a card.
Assuming this kid found out about it when it began.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep in mind they're like 7 or 8. How do they find out about it? Maybe they had an older brother who was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And then moved on, or maybe this kid was into Yu-Gi-Oh! Or other games and randomly saw, oh, card fight Vanguard. And then just what caused them to be like, this looks cool. I want more. I want to get involved. How do I do so?
It's actually kind of funny because that's how I moved to Vanguard, was playing Yu-Gi-Oh. So, no, that is.
That's how I was.
I mean, most of us did.
Yeah, it's a plausible.
God, I remember when I first discovered it too. So I don't talk about it that much, but I have talked about it once before, I think, when we used to do our own cool show. I was looking up fan art for a Yu-Gi-Oh card called TG Blade Blaster.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Oh,
loved it. The level 10 synchro. 10. It was so cool.
Yeah.
And then I went to Google Images, and all of a sudden I see this, awesome dude with a cool sword, white armor, blue Under Armour. I'm like, oh my god, this guy looks like Mega Man. That's so cool. And so I was just like, what's this from? I look it up, and I see Blaster Blade. Wait, TG Blade Blaster. Blaster Blade. Thanks, Google. When I first saw it, I'm like, oh wow, this guy's like a mix between if Seto Kaiba ditched the dragon facade but got like Mega Man X armor but painted it white because of the Blue Eyes facade, you'd have Blaster Blade. At least that's how I first saw it. And I'm just like, oh my god, I want to get in on this. And then I did research and binge watched like the first 36 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's been weekly by weekly ever since.
Man, I actually was gonna like save like a video like talking about how I got into Vanguard for my first time though, but honestly, I feel like part of it was because I was getting tired of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because if I remember correctly, I think I quit for a brief while when Necros was like the main deck at that
Oh,
particular
wow.
time.
I had quit way before that, but yeah.
I
And
can't say
my
anything about
friend,
that.
and my friend.
I know you love Necros, dude. You should love the OCG ban list.
So,
I do.
but
I do.
here's the weird thing. Originally, I was interested in Necros because I was a Gishki player, and Gishki is basically Necros is basically what happens after Gishki.
Yeah. It's Gishki. It's a better form of Gishki. They're just like, oh, we'll take some of the banned cards that we banned and made them into a ritual. Well, technically, ritual in JP is Gishki, so technically Gishki is.
Yeah.
You're playing a ritual deck anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah.
And then, my friend around the time he decided that he was going to start, a Vanguard, place in the card shop that we're normally at, and get more people into it. So I decided to go into it, even though I think like my reasoning after that was actually pretty stupid, but it was funny at the same time. I basically asked, were there any clans based on furries? And he said, okay, Great Nature.
Great Nature.
So yeah, basically I got into Great Nature, and basically I got into Great Nature using one chat nor, and basically made the whole deck out of nothing but commons and rares. Like literally my grade 3 lineup was whatever that backpack seal thing is and the calculator hippo. That was literally my grade 3 lineup.
Oh.
Magnet Crocodile for the win.
Hey, I mean, you start off really budget. I mean, that's the thing. Like, when you just start off Vanguard, well, back in the day, that's what happened with me. Like, I built a weird Narukami deck, and I had an Ezel deck in the midst at the time, because, what was it? Ezel, I think I had, like, Ezel with, like, just random grade 3s at the time for my golds, but I didn't have the PGs, because PGs were, like, ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
$20-$30.
PGs
Thank
back
God
in
we
the
never have
day.
to see those days again.
Oh,
No, I'm glad PGs aren't as expensive back they were.
now it's like, hey, here's a PG for you, here's a PG for you, and here's a PG for you.
Oprah wills it.
Right. Right. So, I mean,
let's see. I wonder who got me into Vanguard.
I don't know.
I wonder that. I probably was the
Kick you
same
to the
person
face.
who made me make a page. Too. Yeah, I blame you for
Who's
that.
already
I
surpassed me in
blame-
likes in that case? Mm.
Well, it's because I tend to card fight certain different people.
I mean, you
Nope.
guys are the reason why I made a page.
That's true.
yeah.
Okay,
that's
so-
pretty
I blame
cool.
them too. I blame
Okay,
them too.
So basically, I got into it because a certain Ezel wanted somebody else to fight.
That's me.
Yeah, right. And he told me to look at the clans, and I was looking at like OTT, meh, Cosgrove, maybe. I mean, Overlord looked decently well. No grappler giant robots, really.
Gundam. No, I'm just kidding.
Fighting robots.
Yeah, Gundam, giant robots. The eyes, kind of. Pale Moon. Okay, hold on. Pale Moon. We'll look into their circus. Yeah, I like the idea of a dark circus, the uncanny feel. Oh, okay. $900. You sold. Just sold. Do you want to know? I'm good. You have Alice in Wonderland, aka Nightmare Doll Alice. That good? Yeah, Nightmare Land. You guys try to take her back. We have the original one. Let's be honest. Read the
She
original.
was gigantic.
And she is awesome. And so that got me started. My first deck was actually Golden Beast Tamer. So yes, I'm hoping Luquier is in the new set. But kind of going back to my first deck, it's kind of nostalgic in a sense.
Hello, I'm the nostalgia critic. I remember it, so you don't have to.
And that's why I'm kind of excited for the next stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if we're going on the idea of how we got into the Vanguard game itself, I got
We all
into
click Yu-Gi-Oh because
We all
Yu-Gi-Oh
click
are the
Yu-Gi-Oh.
fan cards. We all
yeah.
click Yu-Gi-Oh for one reason. For me, Metal Shadows, rest in peace, buddy.
Yeah.
One day maybe.
I
In the
didn't
script,
like-
one day.
Like it didn't really. I didn't quit Yu-Gi-Oh at that moment because I still played it. But what happened was a friend of mine had the. You guys remember how back in the day there was like a shop challenge where your team had to like qualify for regionals or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember
yeah,
those.
yeah.
Those were dark times.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like it was something like you had to get like first, second place in your shop in order to be able to even go into regionals. So after I played Yu-Gi-Oh, or like on the very, very last round, a friend of mine who played Vanguard, which at the time I had no idea what the heck it was, asked, "Hey, is there anyone from Yu-Gi-Oh who'd like to play Vanguard?" Because at the time it was a team tournament. It was a 3v3, and so they needed one more person, and I volunteered like because I was like, I play Yu-Gi-Oh, I'd like to play something else. So I got into playing the team league, and yeah. We got
Let me show you
second.
the way.
I got second for not knowing how the hell to play Gold Paladins. I was like, because the thing was like, I was like, okay, so the main idea is to ride 1, 2, 3, and then I got the idea because we had like a 5-minute, 10-minute kind of teaching me kind of thing, and so they're like, oh yeah, if you're at 4 damage, you're allowed to use this effect, and then his effect does this, calls this, and you get like massive power, blah blah. In my mind, I was like, okay, so I'm at 4 counter blast for his skill, so that I can get a call from the top, and and my Vanguard gains that much power. That's all I really got, and so I was like, okay, swinging for like 40 some odd K for no apparent reason.
Oh, I remember
And
those
they're
days
like- and I'm like-
those numbers.
I was just like, I have no idea what the heck I'm doing. I'm just like, okay, attack with the van, attack with the rear, attack with the rear, attack with the van, attack with the rear, attack with the rear. I'm like, and how I won, everyone kind of got shocked at the Vanguard thing because they were like, how the heck are you winning? I'm like, they're like, you're a new player. How the hell are you winning? I'm like,
It's fate.
and the deck isn't even like completed. It was a like 2 Ezel, 3 Pelennor with a few Garmor in the deck. So
That sounds about right.
I had like no idea what the hell the deck was doing. And I was like, eh. So it was just like, I think after that, I started to actually like go into Vanguard more because it was fun. And yes, I did still stack triggers back then.
Stacky Miss Stacky.
Mm-hmm.
Innate ability. I don't know. I can't control it. Although I do have my downtimes.
Sorry,
so.
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yeah, Jean Grey. I can't control it. When she goes to Dark Phoenix.
Oh.
Ah.
I know the character. I just didn't know about that part. I never really knew about it. But yeah. I know we strayed from the main topic too.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
we
We bypassed it.
Main topic and right down to nostalgia.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, one, we haven't done something like this in a long time, and two, we did basically cover everything.
Right.
So it kind of made a little sense. Probably should do like another podcast like this sometime.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down.
It's just like, for some reason, a lot of our schedules tend to like.
Flash now.
Yeah, that's the reason why
and-
we haven't been doing it. None of it.
Yeah.
I'm free now. Woo.
Yeah, but like, some of us have work.
Unless I have to go do a thing or plans are already made.
Hmm.
So what's the next topic?
I probably would think of like another topic sometime. I am gonna try to end it like right here so it doesn't go like over an hour, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's.
So I just barely joined in like halfway through. Shiz. All right.
Yeah, that's why I kept it longer because you joined in just now.
Ah.
All right.
Sorry
So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Giraffa, take us away.
Alright, so basically, all you have to do is just read your card. Basic comprehension, basic reading skills, and finance. That's all you really need to play, not just Vanguard, but any card game. Now,
Yeah, I would say any card game too. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Freaking Buddy Fight was one of them. No,
Yeah.
seriously, prime
No,
example.
I know.
Okay. We're trying to end this, not go into another tangent.
I was just gonna add just one extra.
No, you lost your ability.
Oh, man.
she skill drains you. But anyway.
Yep.
State embassy.
late.
Alright, so any final comments from everybody? Let's start with Ezel since he came in pretty late.
Oh fudge! Why are you always putting me on the spot? Final thoughts.
Yeah, Jerry, final thoughts. Jerry.
My final thoughts on the matter is, let me take my drink real quick. All right. Get into my Jerry Springer pose.
RP Jerry.
If you want to play a game, you got to think about it. Look into it. Do the research. Is this something you want to do? If it's interesting, then you have to decide, do you want to commit to it? Once you do, how far down the rabbit hole do you really want to go? Some of us are still falling. But, it's just something you have to think about. You don't want to go through it and think you wasted your money. You didn't. Although a lot of people will say that they did now. But you got to look into it. Do the research. You'd be surprised how much research actually pays off. And sometimes you have to do a lot of quick thinking in Vanguard, not just building a deck, but buying the cards too. So thinking. You got to think. Think, and then read and do the math. That's, you can build a deck for $100-$200 for standard. And I'm saying 200, assuming max rarity of certain things.
Yeah.
So that's my thought. Be smart about it.
Yeah, don't be a rarity whore, folks.
Oh, come on, man.
No, you gotta be more like Rarity the Pony, not Rarity the Whore.
Ow.
Luquier, you're next.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know we're fun doing this once again. You can keep on saying read cards, read skill, but again, people will do what they want to do, and they will not listen. So if take advantage if you have to. If they're not willing to do it, then not your fault. And if all else fails, get good, get really good, and beat the crap out of people left and right. Punch them in the face.
Yay. And last but not least, the Breaker Chaos Dragon.
I mean, there really isn't much to say. I mean, you read your cards and don't get me pissed off if I see your video and I call you out on a mistake, because I will call you out if you make a mistake. I will call you out. I mean, that's just how it is.
Constructive criticism.
Huh? Yeah, it's
Constructive criticism.
Exactly. It's constructive criticism whether you take it or not. And if you accept, if you accept it, that's good for you. If you don't, it's not gonna be my fault that you just suck. So yeah, just don't catch me. Don't if you know you misplayed, don't ever have me look at your video because I will call you out.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I.
Jose.
You know, when you do that, it's there's a 50-50. Are you gonna go Joe or Jose? And I'm just like, I'm gonna be polite on this one. I want to see where this goes.
I said Joe, so
I said Jose.
I don't know what the.
I'm waiting for Fortune Light to say Jose.
Oh.
Is that how you celebrate that day? Okay, so you want to end it?
All right.
There's never an end. There's only the beginning.
I did not talking to you.
You set it up.
Stay tuned
I
for
am not
part 2.
talking to you.
Yep.
All right, stay classy, San Diego. I mean, wherever everybody is.
San Diego? What the heck?
That's
No,
an
it's
Anchorman
Anchorman.
reference.
It's Anchorman.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, that just shows how much I know of this
And
stuff.
let's end it here. I don't think we can get worse.
All right, but my name is Savage Armadillo and Giraffa, and I'm all here with the people of the Vanguard and Roundtable, and we're signing out.
Leaders.
Bye.
Stay humble.
Please check out our channel.